Thank you, Shade, for that brilliant and lively lecture. I must say you were wrong. I must correct you. I think you are the better politician. Charles is a good diplomat, but in terms of political agenda raising, you are probably much better. Yeah, I think you could just stand here or whatever, and it would be a good possibility to ask questions. It doesn't have to be necessarily on the wine industry. It could be on gender aspects, on political representation. It could be on PE. It could be on a personal level about the restitution. It could be about future perspectives. You might even ask the question they have been asked the most times over the past few days in Austria. Do you think that the World Championship will be a success? But you're free to do that. So, yeah. Don't tell me you don't want to know anything about South Africa. Yeah.
How is the race when it comes to politicians? How many people are actually really in power in the parliament?
Yeah, I think it's a good question there, thank you. We, in all sectors of our economy, including in government, parliament, even political parties, we still have a disproportionate representation of women. The aim for parliament, at least for the next 5 years, we have a new government that came into power last year. And I think the aim is at least 45% black women representation in parliament. Now, of course, we've got a black government, so one would have thought that they would have encouraged more women to participate. Yeah, but it's a process.
Are there differences concerning the different regions in South Africa and the relationship between black people and white people? So, for example, in urban or country regions?
Yeah. I think that's also a good question, a typical social anthropology question. Of course, there would be differences. And the differences would be at all levels of the society. People living in more industrial, urban areas would have more opportunities, first of all, much more work, employment opportunities. And those who find themselves in the rural areas would be more working within the agriculture sector. So urbanization and rural development would always be a stark contrast in any society. And that also means a difference in how people live and in how people relate and in terms of opportunities. So people in urban areas will always have greater and more opportunities. Does that help you?
Yes. And how the relationship between white and black people?
Oh yeah.
I mean, is it more?
Yeah, and I think I'm hearing you. Yeah, I think the issues that Shulay raised, we do seem to find stark contrasts of race relations within rural areas and farm areas compared to urban communities. So there seems to be more tension or greater tension between black and white in rural communities than in urban areas. And I think, in some way we have all answered that question, that it has to do with exposure. People in urban areas are generally more educated, more exposed, and have more opportunities.
And how is education in South Africa for children, and how is
can perhaps also mention if you would like Choulet or Charles.
Yeah, I'm beginning to show that right on
Okay, just repeat the latter portion of the question.
How is history taught to children?
I thought you mentioned something different, so I'm glad I asked you to repeat the last portion. In our public school system, depending on the state or the area where the school is and the level of poverty surrounding the area, children are allowed free schooling, right? And they are refiltering that group of schools this year again, right? If it comes to history, we have different school models in existence in South Africa, which means some would have a public curriculum that they have to complete whether they do like it or not, because it comes from government, which means they need to comply, right? History as a subject is being taught at many of these schools, and I think if I think about the time I was at primary school, the curriculum has changed enormously, because the focus is really more focused to from the 50s up to where we are presently. And I think some of the positive elements of this is our children are not growing up with the idea that black and white exists. Our children see